Hey, this is Pastor Jay Lee wishing you a happy new year from the Daily Sabbath podcast. The Haggai series, part 1. Haggai chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. This is what the Lord Almighty says. These people say, the time has not yet come to rebuild the Lord's house. Then the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai. Is it a time for you yourselves to be living in your paneled houses while this house remains in ruins? What was it going to take to see God's house in its former glory again? After Israel's long exile in Babylon, Cyrus the Great of Persia came to power and began letting Jews return to their homeland. They began rebuilding, and they laid the foundation for the temple. But something happens, and 16 years later, God's house is still lying in ruins. Why? While they did face some opposition, see Ezra chapter 4, that time had long passed. Yet the temple was still left in desolation. Then the reason is revealed by a prophetic word from God through Haggai. You keep saying it's not the right time to build, yet it does seem to be the right time for you all to be building nice houses for yourselves, while mine is still in ruins. Ooh, talk about a burn. It's a burn from God. See, it wasn't opposition stopping them. Rather, they were too busy focusing on their own houses to worry about the house of God. They were too caught up in their own affairs and ambitions to have any ambition to build for the Lord. And so it was never the right time. Have you ever noticed that it never seems like a good time to do things that you don't really want to do? There's always an excuse or a justification. And so the house of God laid in ruins. But it wasn't just God's house. It was also their lives. No matter how much they focused on themselves, they never seemed to have enough or make enough or be satisfied enough. See, the temple was an outward manifestation of their inward spiritual condition, ruins. And no matter how much they focused on themselves, it never was enough to satisfy their souls. And so your reflection for today is this: how connected are you to the household of God, meaning the church? Do you find yourself being so consumed with your own affairs and ambitions that you have little interest in engaging with the church community? Have you been making excuses or rationalizations for why you haven't given yourself to the work of serving the body of Christ? The closing song for this episode, Like a Tree, is by Katie Lawson. For more music from Katie Lawson, find a link in the episode description. If you're enjoying the podcast and want to support us, you can leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can also buy Pastor Jay a cup of coffee. For more content, visit us at dailysabbath.com or follow us on Instagram at Daily Sabbath.
In your wisdom, for I know not what I do. You're like a tree planted by the waters, like the road that leads me home. Like a tree, plant me in your waters, till my roots found rest in you. Ground me in steadfastness, ground your salvation, to kiss the wave that knocks, and like a tree planted by the waters, like the road that leads me home, like a tree, plant me in your waters, till my roots find rest in you. Ground me in discomfort, till I'm grounded in you alone. Ground me in my weakness, it's there I found you strong. And like a tree planted by the water, like the road that leads me home, like a tree, plant me in your waters, till my roots find rest in you. Let my roots find rest in you. Jesus, let my roots find rest in you.